Yeah, hot headlines, and we're going to start with the San Diego State Aztecs, and that was a rough go in Vegas.
Tough. They lose in Vegas. Vegas hits 12 threes along the way. Aztecs got their brains beat out on the boards. Uh, we expected too much. I think Magoon Guath will be ready to play in the Mountain West Conference. They don't need him for this final game against Nevada Reno at home on Saturday, but hopefully you get him back and you have a week to practice leading up to Mountain West Conference play. But this is not the same San Diego State team that we've seen in years gone by because it's so young. That being said, though, when you realize that if you can keep Guath, which is going to be a challenge, and you're going to have Heidi back next season with your bigs, and then the fact that Nick Boyd's already announced he's coming back, Reese Waters out with a fractured foot is announced he's coming back with an extra redshirt year, and you add in all the other young guys that got coming off the bench. This might be a program that a year from today is really, really going to be good because all these kids are kind of announcing they're coming back if they can keep Guath from going somewhere else on a payday.
Yeah. I mean, it was a crazy events that went down in Vegas. Vegas was shooting out of their minds. The Aztecs had all that crazy travel coming from elevation in just a short window of time. And even Dutcher said the players looked a little fatigued on the court. But I'm not really worried about next year because there's still no guarantee they're going to be able to keep everybody. So just focus on this year, get Guath back, and I think they're going to be fine.
Okay, we go from that. The next one is what's going on with the PGA and the LIV. And these stories are coming an hour at a time. Rory McIlroy said there is absolutely no progress being made in the merger talks. He says this thing with LIV is just clogged up. He says one thing. Tiger Woods, who was part of a 4-hour meeting with President Trump when he wasn't dropping tariffs on everybody's ass.
4 hours.
They met for 4 hours. He said a lot of progress was made. So I'm not sure what is the real truism, except we don't have a merger agreement and both sides are continuing to stagger. And then there was Freddie Couples. Freddie Couples, a retired golfing star, lives in Seattle, very active in the media. He went on and says, nobody's talking about this, but I'm going to talk about this. Brooks Koepka wants out of the LIV. He feels like he's gone to play and his career has disappeared off the radar. You think?
Yeah.
and then this, days later, comes a report that Bryson DeChambeau is threatening to leave because he was made promises about an upgraded contract and he had not gotten it. And in essence, where's my $200 million? Because he signed for one amount with some understanding, gentleman's agreement maybe with the Saudis, gentleman's agreement, it'd be bumped up to a $200 million deal. Now he's threatening. He wants to go. So what is the future of LIV? Dustin Johnson's disappeared. Has anybody heard from Phil Mickelson since he got the money? No. And now all of a sudden, Brooks Koepka and DeChambeau are talking about wanting to exit. So that's an amazing golf story. Are they coming apart at the seams? They're playing. You know where they're playing this week? What channel is it on?
I have no idea.
They're playing in Hong Kong. And when you find out what channel it's on, please alert me because nobody's watching. This PGA LIV thing just nonstop, not making any progress. Soccer. This is quite a story. Manchester United, who once upon a time was elite and once upon a time was really special, is no longer. Manchester United's fallen on hard times. They're laying off tons of people. The day-to-day control of the franchise, they've lost like $200 million annually. And now this. Flash the next picture up. This is at a home game last week. Manchester United's fans are in utter revolt against the Glazer family. The Glazers own the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of the NFL. They bought this thing, and they're of the opinion that the Glazers have run this thing into the ground, and they're living off the fans' loyalty, charging exorbitant prices for everything, and they're losing. I think their record was 8-12-7 as of last week. I mean, they're in the bottom third of the English Premier League. So the fans show up at the stadium, and what does that sign read?
Stop exploiting loyalty.
Yeah, exactly. That's the general consensus of what the Glazers are doing. Is they're taking in all this money And now they're laying all these workers off in different levels of their organizations, their big business umbrella. And all they're doing is taking profits now. And the product on the field, it's nowhere near to what Man U used to be. So there's an implosion. There's something really bad coming at Manchester United. And then the final topic on the table, the whole world is expanding, right? Mm-hmm. You want to expand the NFL playoffs or Major League Baseball, whatever. Mm-hmm. And we got the play-in crapola.
Well, I want the college football playoffs to be expanded.
Yeah, we got the whole bloody thing going on here. FIFA this morning indicated they have open talks amongst their inner circle about expanding the World Cup.
Hey.
Right. So you're really of the opinion we should expand the World Cup and maybe Iceland would win the World Cup if we let everybody in. You know, the World Cup was 32. This next World Cup is going to 48.
Right on.
FIFA has now been given a proposal to build the thing out to 64.
Cool.
Are there 64 global soccer powers out there you want to see in the tournament?
This is good news, because it's bringing the world together, you know, and yeah, Iceland may have a team. I mean, there's going to be some nations that are going to get bulldozed in the pool play, but the more you bring people together in the world of sports, you have less conflict in other areas of society. So I love it. I love getting all these people involved because the World Cup, I mean, really, that is the pinnacle of any sporting event on the planet.
Creme de la creme.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that John is a proponent of 62-7 playoff games in college football. That's what that let everybody in, even if it's 62-7. No, I don't think that's good.
Well, you'll get 62-7 when you have, you know, who was it? It was
SMU.
Was it SMU? No, TCU. It was TCU and Georgia. It was like a beatdown. So, you know, just let them in, you know, and have the tournament and have the game. I mean, why not?
There's 28 people live in Iceland. Iceland might beat Greenland, but you invite all these people to World Cup?
Well, there's a lot of nations. I mean, think about this. Like in the Americas, you know, was it the last World Cup? America didn't make it, you know, or was it the one before that? You know, there are legit teams, national teams that don't qualify that just happen to have a bad run in their regional tournaments. So yeah, open it up. I mean, let's bring people together.
John's going to miss doing one of these podcasts because he'll have bought a ticket to go see Greenland play when the World Cup goes to 64 teams.
Well, I don't know if Greenland has enough people to field a team.
That's where we are. You want to react to the Aztecs, PGA versus LIV, all things soccer. I want you to jump on board. By the way, speaking of soccer, STFC, Chucky Lozano out. They did not say it was a torn hamstring, but he remains out indefinitely with this hamstring injury he suffered in the opener. So San Diego Football Club, MLS, a win and a tie. They go to Salt Lake City this weekend to play their third game of the season.
Yeah, no, hopefully they'll give the locals here in San Diego time to get organized so we don't have any more of that BS chants going on in San Diego.
It's a Mexican culture thing. I don't think you can stop that. I don't think you can police it. I'm not saying it's right. I think it's a Mexican culture thing that they seem to think they have a right to do, which I think is terrible.
Well, I think there's going to be enough peer pressure to kind of get that out. I mean, and even if they have to bring in security to pull people out of there. So hopefully they straighten it out.
So you're sitting next to me and you say it. You have no problem with me raising my hand and saying security. Sammy Slur guy.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I think it's important to understand that, you know, we have free speech in America, but you don't have the ability to say whatever you want in someone else's house.
Slur.
It's someone else's stadium. You can have rules on private property and you can eject people for saying things that are disapproved.
All those are the topics on the table. It's your chance to join us now. Fans Forum chat box is open. This